So excited for tonight's High Adventure Base webinar. We actually have all representatives from all 4 high adventure bases here tonight. They're going to be providing you with information on the programs and how to sign up for the 2025 adventure and when registration is going to open in January 2024. It's kind of crazy we're already talking about 2025, right, Aaron?
I know, Gina, that's exactly right. But, going to a high adventure base is a high adventure. It takes a decent amount of planning. It can take a decent amount of fundraising. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. A little bit of preparation in terms of physical preparation, maybe some mental preparation as well. There's a reason they call it high adventure, right? It is an adventure, and it is really kind of, it's kind of what scouting is all about, right? It's not necessarily easy. It's not a walk in the park, right? But that's a part of what makes it so rewarding and so much fun. When you go to any of these 4 bases, I think we all hear the same thing, Gina. You've talked to people who have been, I've talked to people who have been. Life-changing is the word that I think Aaron, we hear the most.
For some of them, it was literally a walk in the park. Their truck.
Yes, it was. It was a walk in the park. For those of you who don't know, there are 4 national high adventure bases spread nice and geographically all the way across the country. As Gina said, we're going to hear from all 4 of those bases. We got some cool video that's going to kind of get you in the mood for some of the bases. We're going to actually talk live with some representatives from a couple of the bases who are going to share what their respective property has to offer. It kind of depends on what you're into. There's a tropical option. There's a winter option. There's a canoeing option. There's like a walk in the park option, a backpacking option, and the summit, just about everything option. We've pretty much got anything you could want.
Aaron, I want to give some quick shout outs. We've got Troop 7446 and 9446 and Crew 892, Troop 213. I am seeing some Cub Scout packs watching. Yeah, it's never too early to prepare.
Well, yeah, guess what? We're talking about registering for the 2025 season.
PSA,
yeah, absolutely. You've got a few years to get ready. And hey, if you're a Cub Scout, maybe this is in your future 3 to 4, 5 years from now. Stick around. You might learn something.
Absolutely. Well, if you guys have a coat handy, you might need it for this next little venture we're going on.
I was just saying earlier, Gina, I've only been to this property one time, and it was in the middle of winter. And I just told our new friend Blake that I got out of my car in the parking lot and immediately slipped and fell on my butt. But Northern Tier high adventure bases offer more than just winter. They offer summer activities. It's a gorgeous area. Anybody who knows anything about canoeing has heard of the Boundary Waters. Northern Tier is amazing, and that's what Blake's going to tell us all about, I think.
Yeah, very cool.
There he is.
Thanks for having me. Northern Tier, we're in northern Minnesota. We just actually got our first snow today for the season. Wonderful to see Ukpik coming alive.
There was a word you taught us. We were so lucky to have you on a trek on Tuesday a few weeks ago when we were talking about fundraising, which is going to come up. Actually, since then, I think that Aaron ran into a scout who was fundraising for Northern Tier. Mm-hmm. What was that word you guys taught me? Do you remember? It was like, it was the distinction between, because part of Northern Tier is in the U.S. and part is in Canada. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Does this ring any bells, Aaron?
It doesn't exactly.
Aki, something like that.
Kayla.
No. Okay, we'll come back to it.
Take a key?
No, but I'm liking this. Can you explain how, how does this work? What does that look for scouts who are going to the Canadian side?
So we're actually right on the border. Northern Tier, we're 6 miles from the Canadian border. Our Ely base is, and so you can paddle.
That's it. Ely.
The town in Minnesota, I think, where the U.S. half of the base is based, right?
Yeah, our U.S. operations are based here in Ely, and our Canadian operations are based out of Atikokan.
Beautiful.
Awesome, and tell us a little bit more about Northern Tier, Blake. What do you guys offer up there? What does a participant in Northern Tier High Adventure do?
So we've got 2 very distinctive programs. We have our summer program and our winter program, which it sounds like you're a little bit familiar with. So our canoeing program, we have access to incredible amounts of wilderness here. In fact, we have over 4 million acres that we can travel through at Northern Tier as a scout. And so we paddle through those wilderness areas. They're all interconnected with lakes. And so there's not really hiking trails. There's no roads. There's no towns or communities in these wilderness areas. And so we travel through them via canoes, all self-supported. We give you everything you need to go out on a trek to be self-supported for 6 to 14 days. And then when winter comes around, the lakes freeze and we go walk on them, camp on them, dog sled on them, cross-country ski, snowshoe, those sorts of things.
Oh, I think Aaron was frozen. I was sitting there thinking, something on the tip of Aaron's tongue. We really are live, guys. We are so glad to have you join us tonight. I want to give another few shout outs. We've got Troop 181 in the house, Troop 642, a few people saying, hey, we're neighbors to the Northern Tier. So my question for you, Blake, is what are some of the most interesting people or most interesting places you've heard of units coming from or you know, groups coming from around the country?
Well,
or international. Do you ever get any international?
Well, a lot of our trips are international, being right on the Canadian border, but we don't get a lot of international scouts coming in, unfortunately. But we do get crews from all over the country, and it's really exciting to kind of bring them up and show them kind of our unique topography. I do believe I have a presentation. If we want to pull that up, I can show some pictures.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's look at Blake's presentation here.
Andrew in the comments is super pumped when you said sled dogs. That's also super appealing to me. That's something I love about Northern Tier.
Oh yeah. So if we want to go 2 slides forward and show just an image.
Oh, look at that.
Off of our property in Ely. So we're actually looking out into the wilderness. As you can see, it's empty. You can put a canoe on there and paddle for, miles and miles and, be self-supported out there. If we want to go forward 2 slides, we'll talk a little bit more about our canoe expeditions, all of them. Some of these points I've mentioned, 6 to 14 days, 100% self-supported. We're not doing resupplies. If you go on a 14-day canoe trip, you are leaving with 14 days of food, which is really cool to be able to work as a unit for that long and, grow with each other and experience the challenges, the highs, the lows that the wilderness has to offer. And then some images to show off, portaging. Not all the lakes are together, so you have to portage to get in between the lakes as a ways of traveling. Actually, we can go on to that next slide. We have individual programs. So, of course, crews come up as a unit, but we do also have individual programs, Lone Voyager for individual scouts to come up. We host Order of the Arrow programs for folks who are in the OA. Then we offer our Forest Corps program, which is our conservation program, get a chance to work on and take care of the wilderness, take care of the trails, take care of the campsites, those sorts of things. Just an example of some of our patches and awards that scouts can earn. Of course, it's scouting. Everybody loves patches. And it's even more rewarding when you've spent, 10 days paddling 100 miles and getting to earn one of these awards, or contributing to the scientific knowledge of the boundary waters by doing research and studying lake clarity via our lake monitoring program. Charles L. Summers Canoe Base, this is our Ely location that we were talking about. This is our US based operation. You can paddle in the US or in Canada, go into the boundary waters or Quetico Provincial Park. It's also the host of all of our individual programs. And then our Donald Roderick Canoe Base is up in Atikokan. It is 50 miles due north of Ely, of course, in Canada. There you can paddle into the Quetico, again, or the Ontario Crown Lands, which is kind of the Canada's version of a national forest. Also, you can participate in a base-to-base trip. So I believe if we go to the next slide. Yeah, so this is kind of an overview map. You can see we're kind of up in the corner of Minnesota. You can actually paddle from Atikokan, Ontario to Ely, Minnesota on one of our canoe trips, do a base-to-base, paddle from the US into Canada or vice versa. And that can be a trek, super awesome.
Okay, this map like suddenly made it all make sense to me. As not a super geographically minded person, now I'm getting it. Very cool.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see on this map just how many lakes are there. We're not talking one or two that we just paddle in circles around. You can see all of those lakes interconnected. You can north, south, east, west. You can go everywhere in a canoe. And those shaded in areas, those are our wilderness areas or our roadless areas. So there are no towns, no roads, or any infrastructure within those areas. And about 50 miles across. So a massive swath of land. Yeah.
So in the comments we got, I want to give a shout out to Troop 313 from Hiawatha, Kansas. They visited the Boundary Waters this summer. So a reminder for everybody out there tonight watching, we're kind of taking a little tour of all the high adventure bases. Right now, we just took a look at Northern Tier. This is a place you can really visit. How can they do that, Blake?
Register for a high adventure trek. I believe the link is right down there. Talk with your troop, talk with your crew, and get together a unit and register coming up here in January for 2025.
You have me sold.
I want to point out real quick something that Blake said that maybe a lot of people don't know is that you could go without your troop if for whatever reason you're the only one available, the only one who wants to go to that website we just point up there, and there are some opportunities for lone treks. I think you said, Blake, right, or individual treks.
Yeah, our lone voyage program, as well as Order the Arrow or Foursquare Conservation program.
It's so cool, so very, very cool. Northern Tier High Adventure. We just saw that giant huge map. It's canoeing. It's high adventure.
It's portaging.
It's portaging, which is a word that I think Gina learned recently, right? It's you learn about leave no trace. There's so many other things you can do. Blake, since you work up there, I love it if you could sort of tell us what you see from kids who go into Northern Tier. You see them come out 6, 10, 14 days later. What kind of change do you see? What have they learned? What's different when they come out as opposed to when they go in?
They often carry their heads a little higher. The wilderness is challenging, but it's an overcomable challenge. And through working through the scouting program, the units get a chance to push themselves. And it just instills a sense of ability that is really unique. To be able to go out in the backcountry self-supported for so long really builds up someone's ability and confidence in themselves.
You summarized that so well. We were lucky enough to talk to a crew that had visited Northern Tier. I think it was probably 2 years ago at this point. And that's exactly how they summarized it. It was like, they were like, it was really hard. We were really dirty. We had a lot of challenges. It was the best time of my life. Like, they loved every bit of it. And speaking of real youth, something I'm not fully used to, but I'm loving, we've definitely got real scouts in the comments. I can tell by their emoji usage and their gibberish, and I love it. Thank you guys for commenting in. Dan asked such a good question that I can't wait to ask you, Blake, because I don't know. I don't think we've ever asked it. What are the crew sizes allowed?
That's a great question. Our max size in Ely is 8 total. So that's counting advisors and youth. Our maximum in Atikokan is 11, counting adults and youth. And that's primarily because of wilderness regulations, so that there aren't large crowds out in the wilderness. So you're not going to run into a big party out there. It's really only going to be small groups.
That's awesome. Yeah, very, very cool. Blake, anything else we need to share with our audience about Northern Tier that we haven't covered? Any final messages that we'd like to get out there?
Well, I think we're running short on time for Northern Tier, but we do have winter program too, that dog sledding, cross-country skiing. We are a year-round base, and we do fall trips as well. So fall canoe trips are just as wonderful as summer canoe trips. So we operate year-round.
Gina, when I went to Northern Tier, I did dog sledding, just so you know. It was really, really, really cool.
So jealous. Thank you for your time, Blake. Again, everybody, we're going to put a URL up at the bottom of the screen. If you're sold on Northern Tier, you're ready to, like bookmark this page so that people can sign up so that you can register for the 2025 season. This is your URL. Definitely save it. Aaron, something else we need to mention is that there are actually, staff opportunities at all of these high adventure bases. I know we're going to get a little more into that when we head over to the summit, but it is a pretty cool opportunity for, your older adults.
What a cool summer job, right? To be a staffer at a BSA high adventure base. Blake, you guys have seasonal staff you hire, I'm guessing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. There is information about that as well on that page. Definitely something to think about. Again, we're talking about 2025 here for the most part. So plan ahead. They do hire in advance. What a cool job that would be during the summer. I just know that there's a variety of staff needs. So if you're thinking, I don't want to spend 6 days in the on a lake, well, you might not have to. There may be jobs that don't require you to do that. They keep you at the base. So definitely something to look into. Encourage everybody to look at the individual websites of each high adventure base, starting, of course, right now with Northern Tier, to see what kind of opportunities they have there.
And at the high adventure bases, you do need to be 18 or older to staff at those. It could be different at your local camp, and we can always, give you some information on that. But when we're talking high adventure bases, we're talking 18 and older. And this blows so many people's minds. There's year-round opportunities. It isn't just seasonal, potentially. I think we think of summer season, or maybe you're thinking of a winter season, but it's not like that. There are opportunities year-round. April has a question that I just have to ask you because I'm curious. Blake, can you ice fish?
Oh, yeah, of course.
April? Cool.
Yep. We ice fished when I was up there, Gina. It was cold, but you know what? Blake and I, we talked about this when we had them on Trek on Tuesday. They provide you with so much good winter gear. Blake, I said you said that you don't really like to be cold in the winter. Neither do I. If you take their advice, not that bad. It's actually quite comfortable out there on the frozen lake. Definitely something to consider, whether you think you can handle cold weather or not. That's part of the program, is they teach you how to handle it.
Exactly right. Well, Blake, we got to let you go. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome job, Blake. Thank you.
Aaron, before we head over our next
Tier looks so much fun.
We've already been.
Let's head over to our next one now.
Well, no, before we did, I was gonna ask you a question, because you've been to Northern Tier and you went there as part. You were kind of tagging along for a trek, right?
I was. It was during the winter, so it was freezing cold. That's the only time I've been, was during the winter.
How long? This is a question in the comments, and I think it's probably for all high adventure bases, but for Northern Tier, how long did it take you to prepare?
Well, the great thing is they provide most of the stuff as far as like winter jacket. They gave me like a big giant, almost a bib type thing, literally from my toes to my neck, that kept me warm. So a lot of the preparation was just, kind of making sure you're in good physical shape, because you do, it's hard to walk around with all that winter gear. I was surprised just walking around in the snow and ice when you're all bundled up. That takes a lot of energy. So there's a little bit of preparation there, depending on, of course, your current physical condition. But it's a good excuse to just make that a part of your lifestyle right now, right? Go for walks, things like that.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just start making that a part of your lifestyle. It's a great. We both run into scouts who were preparing for future high adventure trips, and that's kind of what they start doing, sort of practice hikes and things like this now. And their trip is a year, at least a year and a half or so in the future.
Yeah, so that's what's kind of awesome about the, like scheduling out in advance. You're able to kind of build your calendar around events and outings, prepare you for this big.
Exactly. You kind of work backwards, right? So you know you're going to go in 2025. Well, what do we have scheduled for the spring of 25, the fall of 24? Working a few practice heights. I remember going out on some scout campouts with my son, and when he had first joined Scouts BSA program, and there were some older kids preparing to go to Philmont, and they did kind of their own little Philmont practice hike, while the rest of us were doing, maybe something not quite as intense. So yeah, you can totally work it into your regular program. It's not at all impossible. So getting back to the question, how long does it take? Well, it could take a year and a half, but it's not a year and a half of nonstop work, right? It could be once a month. So it could be, 18 hours, 20 something hours spread over a year and a half of preparation or something like that.
I think Jason gave us kind of the perfect answer, maybe specifically for Northern Tier. Obviously his experience, and it could be different, but he said 4 months and 60 miles of paddling to prep for Northern Tier this summer. That sounds doable, but also like a lot of work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now again,
it should be a lot of work.
Exactly. I only went in the winter. Paddling in the summer is a different ball game. You do it. That's a lot of work. So yeah, you definitely want to go on some practice paddling trips just on your local, your local pond or river or whatever. Just get used to being in a canoe or whatever and using a paddle.
Well, we're going to talk about getting out on the water in kind of a totally different environment and climate next. Where are we headed, Aaron?
Gina, we are headed down to the southeastern portion of the United States, to the Florida Sea Base. I've been there as well. I was there during the summer. Doesn't matter because it's great all year round.
Does being in the parking lot longingly looking in, now does that count as being?
Yes, it absolutely.
Then me too.
Counts. Then we both been there.
There isn't like glass, but it was like a proverbial glass. Like, sure wish
Sea Base.
I was there.
Sea Base has a lot of cool programs: scuba, snorkeling, swimming, fishing, kayaking. We're going to learn all about that here over the next few minutes in this presentation that I believe they provided for us that we're about to play right now. Let's see it.
I'm Dylan Cordell. I'm the program director for the sailing department here at Sea Base. We offer 4 sailing adventures: coral reef sailing, sea exploring, STEM eco sailing, and Keys Adventure sailing. We also have our multi-adventure, Island Expedition. Scouts who choose one of these programs will explore the most diverse ecosystem in North America. Participants will snorkel, fish, and sail the turquoise waters of the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary. For the Coral Reef Adventure, Scouts will set sail aboard a 40-foot sailing vessel, and they'll live aboard all week. This adventure allows the Scouts to cover quite a lot of open ocean, from John Pennekamp State Park in Key Largo all the way down to the 7-mile bridge in Marathon. The Sea Exploring Adventure sets sail on a 70-foot schooner. Crews of 20 will learn what it's like to crew a tall ship schooner. They'll also get the chance to explore the city of Key West, a city with one of the richest nautical histories in the world, during their midweek day. STEM Eco Adventure participants learn more about the ecology of the Florida Keys. They'll dive into the delicate balance of ecosystems that make up the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary through workshops and activities based in the mangroves, seagrass beds, and reefs. Keys Adventure sailing participants have a unique opportunity to experience all that Sea Base and the Keys has to offer. They set sail from Isla Mirada for half of their week to live aboard one of the 40-foot sailing vessels. At their midweek, they'll return to base to stay in our glamping tents. Then the second half of their week is filled with activities like an eco paddle, snorkel trip, and an island tour. The Island Expedition will send crews of 8 to kayak and hike through the mangrove forests of Long Key State Park. The next day will be spent aboard one of our 28-foot fishing boats, followed by 2 days aboard one of our dive boats to snorkel the world's 3rd largest barrier reef. No matter what adventure your unit chooses, the sailing department has got something for everyone. Island Expedition will send crews of 8 to kayak and hike through the mangrove forests of Long Key State Park. The next day will be spent aboard one of our 28-foot fishing boats, followed by 2 days aboard one of our dive boats to snorkel the world's 3rd largest barrier reef. No matter what adventure your unit chooses, the sailing department has got something for everyone.
Hi, my name is Joe Angelo. I'm the scuba director here at Sea Base, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the programs that we have to offer. If you're not a certified diver yet, you could come down for our scuba certification adventure, where you and your crew will actually get certified as PADI open water divers. If you are currently certified or working to get certified, you could come down for some of our other adventures, like the Scuba Adventure program, where you come down and you're diving from Sea Base, doing like 10 dives off of our Newton dive boats. You could do the scuba liveaboard program where you're out on a catamaran, diving with your crew, going up to the Key Largo area, doing some beautiful dives on the reef up there. Or you could do our new program, which is our Scuba Advanced Marine Exploration program. And there you'll actually do hands-on work with corals, doing some coral planting, and earn your PADI Advanced Scuba Diver certification. These are all great programs. They give you the opportunity to get a lot of dives in, see the environment of the beautiful Florida Keys. It's one of the largest barrier reefs in the world, and the reef life is fantastic around here.
Hi, my name is Joseph Mandara, and I am the STEM director here at the Britain Environmental Center. I oversee the Marine Eco Expedition Program. This is a 7-day, 6-night expedition where you will get to explore the unique ecosystems of the Florida Keys, including seagrass beds, mangroves, and the coral reefs. Some of the things that you'll get to do here is get to conduct citizen science surveys. You'll get to go out to tag sharks and mahi-mahi. You'll get to explore our island in Big Munson, and you'll get to go down to Key West. One of the unique things about this program is the land-based coral nursery that you'll get to work in for half the day, where you'll get to do husbandry, water quality, and even fragment your own coral that eventually will be outplanted on the reef. So if you're interested in conservation, marine biology, or you're just want to learn more about the Florida Keys, then this is the perfect program for you.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. Florida Sea Base, Gina, very much like Northern Tier that we just talked about, but just a different part of the country. Similar in the sense that there are so many different activities to choose from, and very much like Northern Tier. As a youth, when you go to Florida Keys, you're enjoying the sailing, you're enjoying the snorkeling, you're enjoying the scuba diving, the swimming, but you're also learning. You don't even realize it, but you're learning about conservation, you're learning about responsibility, you're learning about leadership, you're learning about decision making. You don't really realize that until like years later, but that's a part of the magnificence of high adventure bases in general, and Florida Sea Base particularly.
Yeah, what's happening at Florida Sea Base with the coral restoration is historical. You really can be a part of history. Carol says save the turtles in the comments. I am
Agreed.
loving the comments, Aaron. I love to see that we've definitely got real scouts here watching. If you are asking questions, rest assured, I have super sleuth eyes. I'm seeing all your questions, so don't worry. But also, everybody, if you wouldn't mind sticking to the topic of high adventure bases tonight, scouts, we see you. We appreciate you tuning in and watching tonight.
Yes, very well said, Gina. Yeah, though, Florida Sea Base, what an adventure. We also know that they do hire staff. So if you're interested in learning about that, go to the Florida Sea Base website. Here's the website where you can register and learn more about, in particular, about the specific treks, the specific adventures offered at all four high adventure bases, including Florida Sea Base. There's also information on this website about here. I've got it called up on my screen right here, Gina, about when you can register, the timing, all that stuff like that. Just so you know, Gina, the registration portal opens up January 18th. So we're 70 days away from when the registration portal opens up. Now we're talking again about summer 2025. So it's not this coming next summer, it's the summer after that. That's pretty much the standard of how far in advance you register. And for good reason. It gives you time to prepare, put it into your calendar, and make any kind of arrangements between now and then that you need to do, fundraising, all that stuff like that.
I think it was, I don't want to miss this comment. Scott said Sea Base is unforgettable. That's what we've heard time and time again. I don't think you guys need any convincing. Take a look at pictures. Sea Base is pretty cool. It books up fast. Put it on your calendar. You're just a couple months away from being able to register.
Yes, it does. That's exactly right. Yeah, it's a tropical adventure, but it's not. You're not staying at a 5-star resort. You're staying in a really cool, fun tent, and it's an adventure. It is fun. It is high adventure. There's when I was there, Gina, when we were doing some fishing, and our guide was nice enough to prepare some live bait for us, and that attracted sharks. And so there were sharks swimming all around us, obviously harmless, swimming all around our feet. We were in about 2 feet of water or so. So really, really cool. A little freaky at first if you're not used to
Wow.
that kind of thing, but they basically were just like these big catfish. They were sharks technically, but they were just big old catfish swimming around because they could smell the live bait that we were using.
Ooh, that's an experience, all right.
It absolutely is.
I am seeing questions. I've actually seen questions on popping up like this about what are the accommodations like. If you're going on a trek, I think it's different, but it just made me want to say, keep your eyes on the high adventure bases too. If you're maybe a family, you've got a Cub Scout, maybe you're not aiming for a trek right now, or maybe your child is thinking of going on a trek, but you want to tag along too, not necessarily as volunteer. Just, look into family adventure camp as well. That happens at our high adventure bases. That's not what the topic is tonight, but family adventure camp exists, and it can accommodate just about anybody in your family. And the accommodations are pretty nice.
They are
to
really
undersell
nice.
it.
Yes, they are for sure. When it comes to high adventure, I think there's a pretty decent range depending on the adventure that you choose. I just know, for example, if you spend the night on Big Munson Island, that's a very, very primitive island. I don't think there's any electricity out there, if I remember correctly. That's pretty rugged. There are other places you can stay that's a little bit closer to where there will be running water and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of different options. Again, almost all of those kind of questions can be found at the website we've been showing up. Thank you, Brian.
You can use that for all 4 high adventure bases, compare, look at pictures. There's a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah, there's a reason why we keep showing that up for every base, the same URL, because it's all right there.
That's the one place. That's the one thing we want you to visit today. Head to that URL. I have a question. I want to go back to Northern Tier and see if you can answer it. Warren says, so would Northern Tier be in the winter of 24 to 25? Is that what you're like? Is it winter 25? Oh,
I was just going to say, is Blake still around?
That was like a genie.
So the answer is yes. It would be for 24, 25. So December 24 and then January, February 25.
Right. Not this winter coming up here in 2 months, Gina, but the one after that.
That's a good clarification, because some folks out there might have thought 2 years.
Not going here. You're not going in 6 weeks. Yes, exactly. You're going
or
in,
2. Yes, exactly.
Right. Or 2 years from now. Yeah, good point. Yeah, it's right in the sweet spot. Really, 13 months or so. Perfect.
Man, thank you, Blake.
Blake, thanks for being there.
Thanks for sticking around.
Don't go anywhere, just in case we get more questions.
We'll probably have more Northern Tier questions. Yeah,
I'm sure we will. Yeah.
Okay, we have some other special guests who are about to join us, or another special guest, I should say.
Yep.
And I'm sitting on, should I spoil? I'll just say there's something special that's going to happen in this section. Okay. So.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Johnny.
Johnny.
Hey, everybody. Hey, I am doing well. How are you, Gina and Aaron?
So good. Great. Now,
we're so glad to see you.
What high adventure base do you represent? I just can't even tell.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, there is this place in West Virginia. It's pretty cool. It's called the Summit Bechtel Reserve. And one kind of exciting thing is that if you like my sweatshirt, at the end of our little talk here, do you want to say it, Gina? I don't want to ruin the surprise. You can. Okay.
No, say it. Say it.
Okay. So we're going to pick a couple of folks who are on the call, and we're going to send them some Summit swag. So if you are jealous of the amazing sweatshirt, one, you can get your own, summitbsa.org. But we're also going to give away a couple of Summit swag bags tonight. So stick around. So at the end of the Summit portion, we will announce the lucky winners of those.
I didn't realize it was that sweatshirt.
Yes, completely unrelated question. Are staffers, BSA staff, allowed to enter? Just random, just curious to know.
I'm sure that we can get one as long as you promise to wear it on all future webinars.
There you go. Yes, yeah. Perfect.
Jared at home says he has that sweatshirt. Great taste. Okay, the comments are popping off. People really want that Summit swag. People want it.
Cool
Pick
shirt.
me. Nice. I love the sweatshirt. Yeah, people love these Summit sweatshirts specifically. Sweatshirts are in. It's clear.
Absolutely.
Johnny, I'm old enough to remember when the BSA only had 3 national high adventure bases. The Summit was added. It's probably 10, 15 years ago. How long is the Summit?
Yeah. So there were several years of preparation, right? But the first there was a shakedown, but then the first big event that was held at the Summit was the 2013 National Jamboree. So 2023 was actually kind of our 10th anniversary of being open for real.
That's so exciting. That's so cool. Yeah, and we've had two jamborees, I think, right? 3 jamborees now at the Summit. Since then, right? Including the one just a few months ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, yeah, 4 jamborees total, right? Because we had a
Four, is that
big
right? Okay.
world jamboree there too. Yeah. So
Max, no, oh, that's right, the
um,
World Jamboree. Yes, there you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
Great.
can't forget that one. So so I thanks for pulling up those slides, and that's a great comment there because one thing that I wanted to mention is that so many people have had the opportunity to experience the summit um, as a participant or as a staff member during a jamboree. And the summit is, of course, the permanent home of the National Scout Jamboree, and the at least once and maybe future home of the World Jamboree. Um, but there's so much more to the summit. So we run programs for scouts and venturers and explorers and scouting participants each and every summer. So in addition to our fantastic James C. Justice National Scout Camp, which offers kind of a traditional scout camp program with an emphasis on advancement and enrichment with access to some of those amazing high adventure opportunities that we have on site. We have 6 unique high adventure experiences that are listed here. And I'm going to talk very briefly about each one. And I think we've got a supporting picture so that way, hopefully you and your scouts can picture yourselves here at the summit in 2025. So as we mentioned before, registration opens January 18th. So make sure you set a reminder in your calendar. And let's talk about the summit experience. So the Summit Experience is our premier on-site high adventure program. And so for the youth and adults who come to the Summit Experience, they actually get to visit every high adventure program venue that we have here on the site. So that includes a day of aerial sports where they get to go down or where they get to visit the rocks and do climbing and rappelling and the leap of faith. Then they get a thrilling ride down Alexander's Eagle Flight, formerly known as the Big Zip. So 3,100-foot zip, which is quite a thrill. And then
a lot of comments, by the way. People are saying Big Zip is the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So Big Zip is amazing. One of the longest zip lines in the country. And yeah, so the Summit Experience, in fact, all of our high adventure experiences include a trip down Alexander Eagle Flight, or formerly known as the Big Zip. So if you are coming to the summit, and as long as you want to do it, we do challenge by choice, but as long as you want to do it, you will get to go down Alexander Eagle Flight. So additionally, the Summit Experience visits program areas like mountain biking. They do skateboarding and BMX. They do a whitewater rafting trip. They do target sports up at the Ridge, so our high adventure shooting sports venue. So we have essentially with the Summit Experience, you're not committing to just one thing. So you get a wide variety of programs in which you participate throughout the week. And so if you decide that if your skateboarding may not be for you, well, the good news is you're probably not going to have to do it tomorrow. So this is a really great experience. One really interesting thing I want to mention about the Summit Experience is that participants only have to be 13 years old to participate in this adventure, whereas most of the BSA High Adventure programs require participants to be 14 years old or older.
That's an interesting distinction, an important one, because again, I've seen some shout outs to Cub Scout packs that are watching. So, you could be looking a year ahead and I guess you would be just a little bit. For some, you might be 13 at that point. It's possible.
Couple years ahead, maybe, right? But yeah, that the Summit Experience would be a great foray into high adventure for that Cub Scout who is maybe an Air of Light Scout now and looking forward to his or her adventures in the next couple of years. So yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly right. So a few comments I want to read. Warren says, I was there this summer for Nat Jambo and the year before for whitewater rafting, high adventure. I missed the bears. Interesting, Warren. Michael says Big Zip rules. Whitewater rafting is fantastic. Also seeing New River Whitewater High Adventure was so awesome. Yeah, it just seems like the whitewater rafting comes up no matter what. I feel cool because I know the Big Zip, but I didn't do the whitewater rafting. Got to go back.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great segue into our next high adventure experience, the New River experience. This is, in fact, one of our most popular high adventure programs at the summit. And this, I like to kind of pitch this as you get to take a journey down the fourth oldest river in the world in the newest national park in the United States of America. So the New River is an ancient river that is part of the New River Gorge National Park, which was established really just a few years ago. And this experience is a trek experience. So participants will arrive at the summit. They'll have a shakedown. They'll have a day of preparation. And then our summit staff will transport them to the river. And they'll spend the next 4 days on the river doing a trek, camping along the river as they go, cooking all of their meals at those sites where they stop. So this is really, kind of a traditional trek experience where you're out and you're removed from, maybe the summit site or, civilization, as we sometimes call it. But that experience is on the incredible New River.
That is so cool. Yeah, you mentioned it's funny. I did not realize it was one of the oldest rivers in the world.
You
One
stole
of the
my
newest
joke.
national parks. Yeah, I know what a cool little both ends of the spectrum there. Yeah, the New River is amazing. Just like the Boundary Waters is kind of the premier area in North America, really, for canoeing. So is the New River when it comes to whitewater rafting. What an incredible experience as a kid. I mean, to get to go out there and do that as a 14, 15, 16, whatever year old, not to mention as an adult leader for those kids, right? What a great experience.
Absolutely.
Totally. And the important thing, if anybody out there can workshop some kind of a scout life joke out of like New River, oldest river, drop that in the comments. We'll put it on scoutlife.org. No questions asked.
And make sure you share that. We'd love to use that in our marketing materials.
Absolutely.
Next, I want to talk about the Polaris ATV experience. And, my kind of thing for this one is that this is the experience at the summit that we have to sell the least. And by which I mean it is by far the most popular. Take a second right now if you need. Mark that January 18th, 2024 date on your calendar. That's the day that registration for summer 2025 high adventure programs opens. And on that day or within probably a week or two, all of the Polaris ATV experience treks, all of the spots will be full. So if you want your scouts or adventurers to have that fantastic opportunity that includes trekking around the summit property on the ATVs and including that all important ASI certification to make sure that we're playing it safe. This is a really unique way to see the summit and a kind of a perch from which there very few people get to see the summit, right? So this is one of our, I would say, our most exclusive programs, and really, one of our most thrilling and memorable. So if you are, interested, whether you have some experience on ATVs or not, love to get your scouts to the summit. We have a fantastic staff, and they create an experience that your scouts and your adults will remember for a lifetime.
We've been lucky enough to talk to some of our friends at Polaris on a couple of live interviews over the last year or two. They're great people. It's a great program. You mentioned the safety certification. I don't remember the abbreviation, ASCI, whatever it is. But yeah. It is like everything else, like all the other outdoor adventures we do in scouting. Very, very safe, safety at the forefront, along with, conservation and responsible use, right? You're driving these gas-powered vehicles out in the wilderness,
yeah.
But you're doing it in a way to leave a minimal impact on the environment. What a cool way to explore that part of the country, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And sustainability is one of our core values. So it's something that we don't just say, we do our best to practice it.
It's a cool way to bring some people might think of it as a relatively new technology and embrace it and use it as part of how we explore the outdoors. So, and the comments, of course, are all about the ATVs as well. People are just super pumped about the summit. And we do have a great versioning of this joke Why is it called the New River when it's so old? You nailed it, Caleb. Good job.
As
It's pretty
Johnny
good.
mentioned, the program books up quickly. So make sure you, speaking of booking, book that website. As of right now, guys, you have 70 days, 3 hours, 14 minutes, and about 32 seconds. But who's counting until registration opens? So be sure and bookmark that site. Come back and register for whatever experience you choose. A lot of great options at the summit, Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that brings us to our next program opportunity, which is the bikepacking experience. So, yeah. So, the quick news here is that this is an amazing program that puts our participants on bikes to explore both the summit and the surrounding area, including the ghost town of Thurmond, which is kind of our next door neighbor here. And then they trek all the way to the gorge as part of that program. So there are a lot of cool historical, environmental, interpretive elements that are part of that experience. And this is also going to be, 2024 is actually going to be our last year for the bikepacking experience. So we have some spaces left for 2024 if you're looking for a quick turnaround high adventure experience. Otherwise, like we said, we still have 5 other experiences from which to choose. So, but bikepacking, if your unit is looking for something in 2024 that will provide an opportunity to get that 50-miler award and explore the wonders of wild West Virginia, then that might be a great option for you to consider.
Hey, Johnny, what kind of biking skills does this require? Do you ask that participants already be pretty experienced on their bikes?
Yeah, that's a great question, Aaron. So for the most part, no particular training or specific skill or prerequisite is required. In the initial period, there's some training on safety and handling that the participants will hopefully apply during their experience. And so for the most part, a novice cyclist or mountain biker could come in and participate in that program. Of course, we would recommend, as with any of our high adventure programs in particular, that they do some preparation in advance.
So I don't know if this is the perfect time to segue or not, but we are getting a lot of questions about staffing at the summit pertinently. So that's kind of perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a great video of one of our summit staff members, Lilia Sudham. She was a seasonal staff member at the summit for a number of years and now works here full time as our Wheels program manager. So yeah, if we want to roll that video, we'd love to hire some of our participants for summit staff.
Yeah, maybe we have some future staffers in the audience right now. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Lilia Sudham. I am from Berkeley County, West Virginia. I am the Wheels Program Manager here at the Summit, and I've been here for 5 years. I originally heard about the Summit when a recruiter came to Concord University, where I studied recreation and tourism management, and spoke to a class a friend of mine was in. I decided to apply for a summer position and was a Summit Experience Program Guide. And then I decided to stay on for 4 more years, and the rest is history. First year as a Summit Experience Program Guide, I fell in love with the Summit. I learned all the programs, met awesome people. Then I went back to school and realized that I hated being in a classroom and I wanted to be outside again. I almost dropped out, but thankfully I didn't. And then I was just counting down the days so I could get back here again. And second year I was in program. I was a skateboard instructor and learned how much I loved doing that. Stayed in Wheels for the next 3 years after that. And here I am, Wheels Program Manager. In my time as a skateboard instructor, the coolest thing that I got to do was be able to adapt the program to be more inclusive. We loved seeing participants of different walks of life, being able to come in and just seeing their faces light up when they thought they wouldn't ever be able to skate, but we were able to teach them. And just being able to do that is very rewarding. A common question we get in the Wheels department is how much experience do you need in order to be an instructor? The answer to that is none. We'd love to have you here, and we'd love to be able to teach you how to be an instructor. All of your certifications and trainings are here on site. We'll teach you how to instruct, and we'll get you in the Wheels program. Are you looking for an awesome adventure this summer? Come work at the Summit, and more importantly, come work for Wheels.
Yeah, talk about a cool summer job.
All right.
That's a really
That was yeah. So that was Lilia. As she mentioned, she worked at the Summit for several summer seasons before she started full time earlier this year. And we are thrilled to have really dedicated individuals like Lilia on our full time staff, and so many on our seasonal staff who really, kind of bring the promises that we make to life.
Yeah, and for anybody watching at home, if you're 18 or older, really consider this an option. Don't see your time getting to spend time at high adventure bases as over, and you can get paid for it. You actually get paid for this.
And I think if I'm correct, you don't have to have necessarily been to a high adventure base to work at a high adventure base. So if you think, well, I've never been there before, I can't work there. Not so fast, my friend. There probably is a position there that you can do. That's not a requirement.
Absolutely. So here at the Summit, we hire about 250 seasonal staff members each summer. So those staff members work in a variety of areas. So they might be instructing skateboarding, or facilitating whitewater trips, or helping out in the dining hall. So really, whatever your talent is, whatever your interest is, we probably have a job for you.
And you guys have a trek for just about anyone. If people are watching at home and they think that they've heard about all of the different opportunities at the Summit, no, we've just scratched the surface, and we actually have a couple more to talk about, different trek options.
Yeah, absolutely. So our next trek option, excuse me, is the Marksman Experience, which is a really unique program and geared toward those scouts, those units, those adventurers who are really interested in target sports. So at the Summit, we have the bows and the barrels, which are our premier target sports venues, including rifle, both static and action, rifle, shotgun, pistol, and our famous 1,000-yard range, where our staff have 100% record. Everyone who aims hits the target. And so this is this is one of our, I would say, this program has fewer people participating in it week by week. And so this is a really cool opportunity for your scouts, your adventurers to engage with the staff up there, who are all experts in the programs that they're hosting, and really come away with a fantastic experience.
That's so cool. Very, very cool. You might see on that list of activities, there's one there that I think people might not be familiar with this, and I know we're almost running out of time, but can you just explain real quick 3D archery?
Yeah, absolutely. So 3D archery is shooting at targets kind of beyond the round targets that many of us are familiar with, and we see most places. So that 3D archery includes targets like a T-Rex and a deer and a turkey. So some ways to take the traditional shooting sports programs and really enhance it and take it to the next level is what the Marksman Experience is all about.
I want to just jump in with a question from Kathleen, who I can tell is an insider. I think you're going to know the answer, Johnny, but if not, we can always get back to her. The Summit in the past has had a provisional Summit Experience option in late July. Will you be offering this again? Not all of us can get a crew to go, and airfare from Hawaii is prohibitive.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So just the Hawaii surprised me. So first off, we're super glad that you're joining us from Hawaii. And one thing that we'll actually talk about at the end is the Scout Connections page, which is a portal on the Summit website. And I believe maybe some of the other high adventure bases have this same function or feature. And the Scout Connections page allows you to connect with units who are participating in a certain Summit program and join that crew for that experience. Alternatively, you can reach out to us and we can work through your specific situation with you. So we want everyone who wants to come to the Summit to have that opportunity. And so you can always shoot us an email or visit the website, and you can get that information pretty easily, and we'll be happy to help make that happen.
That is
Great
awesome. Very
answer.
helpful,
Perfect.
Johnny. Yes, great. And we knew Johnny would know. Very
He had a
cool.
slide.
One thing that a lot of people might not know, I didn't know this until just recently, that you can go to scout camp at the summit. You can go, it's kind of a summer camp experience, right, Johnny? Am I getting that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So so that's the final program that we'll discuss tonight. And so the James C. Justice National Scout Camp is the traditional scout camp program of the summit. And so in this program, your scouts get to visit a national high adventure base and experience summer camp, which looks and feels and sounds and all of those good things like the summer camp, to which you're accustomed. We really emphasize advancement. So we offer dozens of merit badges, including several new ones that we've implemented just this year, including robotics and digital technology, pottery and sculpture. So we're always working to expand the offerings that we have to your scouts to meet their advancement and enrichment needs. And one really cool thing about Scout Camp at the summit is that your scouts will have access to all programs at the high adventure venues on the summit site. So in addition to a really robust and really memorable Scout Camp experience, your scouts will also get to kind of take in the surroundings and opportunities that are offered on the summit site and beyond.
Pretty unique opportunity. I see Michael said we did that in 2022, stayed at James Justice, pretty cool. And Warren says, what about the pack and paddle?
Yeah, that is a great question. So we've got it right here. We were just seeing who was paying attention.
That's right. Good catch, Warren. Good job.
So the pack and paddle experience is similar to our bikepacking experience in the sense that it is a program that emphasizes interpretive elements. So whether ecological, historical, it kind of takes the rich history of the area in which the summit is located, where people have lived, for hundreds of years and have worked in various industries. Probably the best known would be coal mining, and so takes kind of those rich pieces of the history of that Southern West Virginia, and incorporates it into a program where scouts and leaders who are participating will hike and then cap off their experience with a trip on the New River and of course a trip down Alexander's Eagle Flight. So that's a really great program. And also, similar to some experience, great preparation potentially for future programs.
People are loving the pack and paddle as well. It seems like people got amped up by every single trek option that we've gone through. People are also clamoring for the giveaway. And then yes, it's coming up. I think, I don't know. It's totally up to you. There's a comment saying, are all options open to boys as well as girls? I think we can all say a resounding yes, and it's been that way.
Yeah. And if there are any specific questions, we're always happy to help. But absolutely, yeah.
Are the treks for pack and paddle 4 days like most of them? Warren is curious.
Yeah. So all of our programs are 5 full days with an arrival day and a departure day. So kind of you're at the site or on the site for 7 days total.
And then somebody named Kevin O'Keefe is giving all of the detailed answers. So keep your eyes on the comments if you're out there in the chat. He's
thanks, Kevin. He knows a thing or two. So
we appreciate that very much. Johnny, great stuff from the summit. I love the idea that there's the summit experience. There's all the specialized treks and adventures, but then there's the summit experience, which is kind of like a sample platter of the whole thing.
Yeah.
What great options that you guys have out there. It might be time to give away a couple of prizes. Are we going to announce the names right here? Is that
absolutely? I've got them ready. So
Do
our
it. Let's
winners
do it.
tonight, and my email is going. So our winners actually have one follow-up step. You have to shoot us an email with where to send your Summit swag bags. So our winners this evening are Alex Perdomo and Catherine McCoy. So congratulations.
Good job,
And if
Catherine
they
and
don't
Alex.
tell you, I know 2 people who would
Yep.
take a sweatshirt.
I'm just saying,
Absolutely.
Catherine and Alex, shoot Johnny an email. If you don't, Gina and I are going to. So you better get on that here relatively quickly. Congratulations, guys.
Alex Perdomo and Catherine McCoy. Alex Perdomo and Catherine McCoy. Don't miss out. You got to email Johnny.
Shoot Johnny an email. Give him your shipping information. He will get some swag out to you. Johnny, before we let you go, any final remarks on the programs offered at the summit? Anything else we need to let our folks know about?
I think we've covered everything. Thanks so much for the time. Just remember summitbsa.org. January 18th, program registration opens, and summitbsa.org/jobs if you are looking for the best job you'll ever have.
Awesome. Very, very cool. 70 hours, 2 days, 58 minutes, and about 45 seconds until you can register for your high adventure trek at the summit. Thanks for joining us, Johnny. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, John. Oh,
Gina,
question,
one
Aaron.
adventure base to go. Go ahead. Yes.
Yet, before we get there, and the people are, I can't even wait to address this, but can we have a classic Blake drop-in for a Northern Tier question?
I'd love it. Yes, that's great. It's my favorite thing.
Bennett, hey, Blake, Bennett's been asking, does Northern Tier still have a scout camp, like a Bissett base? Oh, hold on.
Blake is muted.
I'll
Somebody
unmute
needs
you.
to unmute him. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, so he's asking about our Beset base. Currently, our
Gina.
currently our Beset base is on hold until 2026.
so still there, but right now you're going to the high adventure base. You're visiting Northern Tier.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Good catch by the viewer to notice that we didn't mention that. I'm impressed that someone even asked that.
Serious about it.
Yes, good job. Thanks for popping back on, Blake. Stay. Don't go anywhere. We're not done yet.
No.
We might get more questions.
You feel free to leave if you want, but hey, we were lucky
don't
to
leave.
have you. You were going to say something else.
I was gonna say we still do treks in Canada though through Atikokan.
There you go.
Awesome.
Okay.
Perfect.
Bye, Blake. Aaron,
Gina?
something hilarious is happening in the comments.
What is it?
People keep saying, "What about Philmont? What about Philmont?
yeah,
Are you
I
going to
forgot.
cover? Why aren't y'all? Why are you not covering Philmont?
I
Guys,
forgot
of course we're going to cover
all of that.
Philmont.
I forgot all about that. Philmont was even a thing. Yes, of course we're
We
covering
would never
Philmont.
forget.
Yes. Speaking of life-changing experiences, I don't think I've ever talked to someone who's been to Philmont who didn't say that it changed their life. And that goes for young people and people my age who went as kids or whatever. I mean, it is definitely a life-changing experience. I think we have a video from Philmont that we're going to watch that's going to kind of go over the options for those of you who aren't familiar with it. It's in New Mexico, and it offers access to just a absolute pristine backcountry, gorgeous land. You know, you've got in the Boundary Water, some of the best canoeing. At the summit, some of the best whitewater rafting. At Sea Base, some of the best snorkeling and scuba diving. And at Philmont, you've got some of the best backpacking country in North America.
And horseback riding.
Horseback
When you were
riding.
saying, you know, all kinds of people are attracted to Philmont, something I don't know that I've ever told you. My dad went to Philmont, not a scout.
Wow.
He went with his work to Philmont. You know, he worked for like a horse registry organization, and they went there to ride horses. I
I
mean,
had no idea. Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, you can do that too.
yeah.
Let's take a look at our video from Philmont and see what we can learn.
Hello, my name is Jay Kolscher, one of the backcountry managers here at Philmont Scout Ranch. I'm super excited to get to speak with you a little bit today about the many great program opportunities offered here on ranch. Welcome to Philmont Scout Ranch, the BSA's largest national high adventure base, serving on average of more than 20,000 scouts every single summer. Philmont encompasses over 140,000 acres here in the Rocky Mountains located in northern New Mexico. Our most iconic and well-known programs are our traditional backpacking treks, offered for 7, 9, and 12-day experiences. which provide a life-changing experience across a rugged and rocky trail for crews of 8 to 12 people. Hikers experience a wide variety of backcountry program that features the best of the Old West, from horseback rides to burro packing to gold panning and more. We also offer exciting challenges for today, like rock climbing, cope, shooting sports, and archery. All this and more provides an unforgettable wilderness experience where participants can choose from a 7, 9, or 12-day trek. Regardless of length, each trek begins with an exciting day exploring base camp and the surrounding Cimarron area, closing with a classic scouting campfire program. Our cavalcade program is similar to regular treks, except instead of hiking, you're riding on horseback through the rugged mountain trails here at Philmont Scout Ranch, just like the trappers of old. Cavalcades are 8 days long and designed for crews of 10 to 15 people. They allow crews to have a unique experience as shown through the ranching side of Philmont, even getting to participate in a rodeo at the end of their trek. In addition to our group treks and cavalcades, we also offer an exciting number of special programs here on ranch, where you can come to Philmont on your own and join a crew of scouts from all across the country, where you will make new friends, dive deeper into the Philmont experience, and learn advanced backpacking skills. Here's a brief overview of what each of our individual programs has to offer. On your 21-day Rayado trek, you will join scouts and adventurers from across the country to learn advanced outdoor skills and the confidence needed to lead those types of groups in the wilderness. Get ready for 3 weeks of rugged trails, intense teamwork, and unexpected challenges. Guided by 2 Philmont Rangers, participants will hike many miles, summit mountains, and overcome mental barriers by facing and adapting to unexpected conditions. You never know what adventure is waiting over the next mountain. On your Order of the Arrow crew, or OATC trek, you will join a crew dedicated to cheerful service for an exciting 14-day adventure. Led by experienced Philmont conservation staff members, participants will leave a tangible legacy on Philmont through trail construction and maintenance. During their second week of their trek, participants get to experience an exciting self-designed trek through the backcountry. Prepare to be challenged mentally, physically, and spiritually. Similarly, Trail Crew Trek, or TCT here at Philmont, is designed to facilitate education of our participants so that they can facilitate conservation projects in their local communities back home. Crews are given a unique itinerary that combines work projects, programs, and lessons from industry professionals. If you're interested in a more in-depth look at our conservation efforts here at Philmont, or with more hands-on science, you should consider ROCS. The Roving Outdoor Conservation School, or ROCS, is an exciting 21-day program here at Philmont. ROCS is designed for scouts with an interest in conservation and natural resource management. A wide variety of unique conservation projects, hands-on science, and visits from industry professionals will give participants an experience unlike any other, focusing on modern land management and conservation efforts. Crew members are expected to work hard and learn how to question the how and why of the world around them. STEM Trek is focused on introducing scouts to the science of the natural world. Led by knowledgeable staff, participants will experience modern-day science and how it applies to their everyday lives in the beautiful scenery of Philmont. The program strives to give participants a better understanding of the world around them and to give them the skills needed to go out and explore it. For scouts interested in learning more about Philmont's ranching operations, the Ranch Hands program offers them a chance to work with our ranching department staff, taking care of Philmont's 300 horses and 80 burros, hauling hay, saddling, and performing other ranch program tasks. The program is designed for those with prior knowledge of horsemanship to expand their skills and experience. After an 8-day work session, the crew will embark on an 8-day cavalcade under the leadership of a wrangler. Participants will ride beautiful trails and participate in exciting backcountry programs, just as a traditional cavalcade trek does, including participating in a horseback gymkhana on the last day of camp. As you can see, Philmont Scout Ranch offers many life-changing experiences for scouts of all ages. Now let's take a quick look at the registration process before you embark on the adventure of a lifetime. We are a little bit different than other national high adventure bases in that preparation for coming to Philmont starts 18 to 24 months in advance to your arrival here on ranch. Our random draw for arrival dates occurred on October 17th, but there are still spots available for the 2024 and 2025 seasons. More information about our registration process and programs offered can be found on our website at www.philmontscoutranch.org. Our website is also a great resource for preparing for your Philmont trek. Located off of our homepage is our preparedness seminar link. Please use those to go ahead and prepare in order to understand how Philmont will teach outdoor survival skills and backpacking skills here on ranch. You don't have to be registered to attend, and attending will give you a little taste of what to expect when you arrive here at Philmont Scout Ranch. Are you too excited to wait for your experience out here at Philmont Scout Ranch? Well, you're in luck. We're now taking reservations for our winter adventure program running from late December through mid-March. Participants will learn to camp comfortably in cold weather and experience Philmont in a way that few others ever have. Cruise snowshoe to camp, sleep in snow shelters, and participate in a wide variety of backcountry programs. Offerings include cross-country skiing, snow shelter building, or earning either the Snow Sports Merit Badge or Search and Rescue Merit Badges. If this sounds like something you would enjoy, register today. Discounted rates are available on holiday weekends and spring break weeks. It is the vision of Philmont Scout Ranch to continue to positively impact the lives of youth and their scouting leaders through effective delivery of the finest scouting possible with backcountry adventures and training center experiences. Philmont receives many donations from all over the country from those who have had the opportunity to experience scouting paradise in God's country and want to share that opportunity with others. If you are having difficulty funding your Philmont trek, please complete the application on our website to be considered for one of the many scholarships available to our participants. There are several financial need-based scholarships available from Philmont, and others may be offered by your local council or elsewhere. Scholarship funding is limited, so please apply at your earliest convenience. Are you interested in bringing family and friends out to Philmont during your trek? Well, let's kick it over to Maddie and Danny to talk a little bit more about our PTC overnight opportunities.
Hello, I'm Danny Tucker. I'm the director here at the Philmont Training Center.
And I'm Maddie Hauk, the assistant director.
We know that crews have many choices in getting to Philmont. The Philmont Training Center offers a variety of options to help make traveling to the ranch a little easier. We can assist crews with early arrival, late departing, or extending your stay so you can enjoy more of northern New Mexico.
Well, you know, Danny, crews aren't the only ones having fun out here. Philmont Family Adventure Camp provides opportunities for the entire family. The Training Center offers flexible program dates to accommodate treks and families so they can arrive and depart together.
Do you have drivers that will want to experience Philmont but are not going on a trek? PTC offers a variety of options including conferences and family adventure camp as well.
Bring your whole unit.
Bring your whole family. There is something for everybody at the Philmont Training Center. Go to www.philmontscoutrancch.org/PTC for more information about our overnight accommodations, conferences, and family adventure camp.
We look forward to making Philmont fun for your entire group. See you this summer.
Thank you for taking the time to listen about all the great opportunities here at Philmont Scout Ranch. We hope to see you soon.
Well, Aaron, we have to let the good webinar folks go, I think, pretty quickly here. But there are a few things that I'm hoping we can cover before that happens. But the first most important thing is this URL we've been showing throughout the show.
Yes, let's show it. Might as well show it one more time. Why not? I want to point out real quick, click on that URL. There's a section on that page where you can sign up for email alerts. Please do that if you're interested. That way you'll get email alerts. Registration for 2025 opens on January 18th. That's about 70 days, 2 hours, 45 minutes, and 27 seconds from right now. You've got time.
And
go to the site, register your email address.
And when you put your email address in there, you select what high adventure bases you'd be interested in. It's no commitment. It's just to get information. And Aaron, I said something I think is really smart earlier, and it stuck with me all day. I'm just kidding, but this is true. I think people at home might be thinking, I can't do a high adventure base. I can't afford that. I can't make it there. And I think that it's not that they don't know how to register. It's that they think they can't afford it. And that's why I would say, put your email address in there, start getting information. Yes. We have your back to support you on your fundraising journey. We were talking a little bit about it earlier.
Yeah, and they mentioned a little bit in that Philmont video we just watched that you can apply for scholarships. Each base does that separately. Go to the base's website for more information on that. But yeah, separately, just over the last couple of months, Gina and I have run into scouts in our local neighborhoods who were fundraising for trips to High Adventure Base. And they were starting now to fundraise for trips in 2025. So
I saw somebody fundraising for Sea Base. You saw somebody fundraising for Northern Tier.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yep. And just by coincidence, that was something we've been talking about during our work jobs about how to get people out to high adventure bases. I think you're right, Gina. But people think, I can't do that. It's just too expensive. It's too much trouble. Well, there's a reason why you start planning in advance. And these kids, by the way, fundraising, popcorn was the one that I saw. I think popcorn was what they were selling. The one you saw, Gina?
Yeah, same.
So just popcorn. Your standard BSA fundraiser. Now they're working hard. They're selling lots of popcorn.
They sell a lot.
They sell a lot of popcorn, yes. We could do a whole webinar on fundraising. And as a matter of fact, we probably should do that, Gina.
I think we did.
Yes. Definitely.
We'll do another.
Yes, we'll do another one. But yeah, start thinking about that now. If you think that, we can't do that, it's too much, just think about it. Start crunching some numbers, do your budget, see how many boxes of popcorn you have to sell. If you start right now, people are doing it. People have done it. People continue to do it. People will do it. Yes, it happens. Yes.
There are people who just have the money to go, but there are more who do not, and they get there on fundraising alone.
Yes. It can be done. Gina and I have met people who are doing it, and there are people out there who are doing it right now and will do it into the future. Gina, I want to mention before we let the folks go, one more resource that people that can go to for information. Each High Adventure Base has a show that they call Trek Talk. What a cool name for a show.
Facebook page, I think, where people can chat.
Yep. Trek Talk Facebook page. Thank you very much, Gina. Philmont has one, Northern Tier, the Summit, the Bechtel Reserve. Sea Base has one. Go there. You can get on your Facebook search engine, search for Sea Base Trek Talk, Philmont Trek Talk, whatever it is. And you can get some ideas, exchange some information with some other folks who are doing the same thing that you guys may be doing right now, trying to think, which high adventure base should I go to? Can I afford it? Is it worth the trouble?
It's just me.
What else do I have to know? Yeah, no one else in my troop wants to go. All those questions, there are other people that have those questions, and those Trek Talk Facebook pages are a great resource to connect with other people who have the same questions you do.
That's absolutely right. So again, even if you're not sure right now, submit your email address so you can get in the loop on your favorite high adventure bases or the one you want to go to next. Make sure you join those Trek Talk Facebook pages. I think that is going to give you a lot of the information that you need. And a reminder, if your whole unit is not wanting to go, there are opportunities for you. You can attend by yourself. Some bases have individual programs, and all offer Scout Connections webpage where an individual scout can find a crew with an open spot. You then contact the adult leader and coordinate the details. Lots of scouts go that way.
Yeah. So in short, the concerns that you have, the questions that you have, there are answers to those questions, fundraising questions, the logistics of how to get out there. Can I go by myself? Other people have asked those same questions, and the answer is yes, you can do that. I think maybe that's one of the messages we definitely like to convey tonight. Those Troop Talk websites are great resources for that. Facebook pages, Definitely check that out when you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Aaron, this was a great show. I really do think that we covered most of these questions. We got a little Q&A here that I'm going through. I'm thinking we talked through that.
Yep. I think we addressed just about everything. Again, thanks behind the scenes, Brian, for putting that URL up one more time. That's your next step, I think. After you watch this webinar, close out of that Zoom window, open up a browser, your choice, Safari, Chrome, whatever, Edge. Go to that website, register your email address for updates, bookmark it, 70 days, 2 hours, 40 minutes, give or take 30 seconds from right now, and you can register for a trek in 2025, or as we learned, a Northern Tier winter trek, winter of 24-25.
Right. It's not 2025 isn't as far as the summer of 2025.
It's exactly right. Yeah, exactly right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for keeping the comments alive. Congratulations to our swag winners. And thank you to all the high adventure bases for joining us tonight and giving us, really we just scratched the surface on all four. You're going to get in the loop on these and learn there's just so much more to know.
Yes, invaluable contributions. Obviously couldn't have done this webinar without their contributions. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us so much. We appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.